Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the new Viseart holiday launch, Petite Fool. There are 4 of them. Each one of them is centered around a specific color story, and these are very just cute mini palettes with 4 shades. Easy to take them anywhere, but they are also magnetized so that you can pop them out like this. And you can take any one of these, mix and match the shades. The pan sizes are also the same as the Étendue palettes, which let me show you. Here's Kashmiri, so I can take a palette of this size, Étendue palette, and pop any one of these shadows in from a Petite Fool. Mix and match, create my own palette. So this I took from Peridot. It's a lot of fun, and I really haven't gone in to do that myself to really mix and match, but one of these days, it's on my list when I go on vacation or something and I'm bringing one Viseart palette. It's going to be one of these, and I'm going to mix and match them with what I have. Last year was the first time we saw the Petite Fool line. There were also 4 of them. Last year's theme was based around, and these are the 4, they were based around pastries. So we have this one here, Lila, very cool tone, very beautiful palette, 2 really stunning metallic shades. And then we have Chocolat, chocolate, framboise, strawberry, and this one here, praline, which I had a lot of fun with these, and they were just extremely popular for the brand. And this year we've been gifted another 4 Petite Fool, and I think they're just wonderful. I swatched them a couple of days ago and I thought, wow, every single one of them has at least 2 shades that I'm really drawn to. So I can't wait to demo all of these for you. I will demo one today because there's a lot of comparisons that I could take out from my collection, for some of these anyways. And so I just want to focus on one at a time. Although maybe in future videos I'll combine 2 of the Petite Fool into a single video, but we will swatch all of them today. And I'm using Peridot to create today's look because I already have this green top on. So the inspiration behind this year's Petite Fool reads as, and I'm seeing this from the Viseart website, roar into the winter party season with our new trope of sensational showgirls, our Petite Fool Lapis, Peridot, Garnet, and Bullion. Our celebration of all things luxe is inspired by the iconic French and American 1920s jazz age full of fabulousness. Yes, I love jazz and the 1920s and Art Deco. I am just so excited about this theme. This is very Art Deco 1920s inspired, which I think aligns with the Bijouette palette too. There aren't really repeated shades between the 2, even though the packaging looks a little bit similar. We can take a look at these greens here. I'll just hold it up quickly. The Petite Fool. But as you can see, they're different. All the shadows in these Petite Fool palettes are brand new to Viseart, so you can't find them in the Étendue palettes, in their Slim Pro, Petite Pro. They just were not previously released at all. And the shelf life of these shades are 36 months. They are made in the States. I'm going to start by swatching Peridot, and I will read the description of each shade from the website. So first we have Illusion, which is a creamy soft neutral buff brown with a matte finish. Then we have Gatsby. It is a khaki with a metallic finish, followed by Green Light. Beautiful. Forest Green with a metallic finish, and then Gimlet. It is a bright green with a metallic finish. I think this color story matches my shirt perfectly. And this khaki shade here, I'm all for it. I have fallen very deeply in love with khaki shades this fall season, and I had no idea I would be that into this kind of green here. I think it just fits the mood, fits the season, it goes well with my skin tone. So I will be taking out a few other khaki shades to compare against. And I'm tempted to do a video just dedicated to eyeshadow palettes with a khaki shade because I don't know, there's just something very special about it. I think after purples, this might be my favorite shade, possibly. Moving on to Garnet, we have this first shade here, Vedette. It is a copper with a metallic finish. These swatch so beautifully, and I love how it looks on the finger afterwards. Look at that. Then Cabaret, a golden bronze with a metallic finish, followed by Piguel, a pale vanilla peach with a matte finish, and then Cordial. Beautiful. Rich burgundy with a metallic finish. Next is Lapis. Let's start off with 19th Gold Nude with a metallic finish. I can see a lot of people putting this all over their lids and pairing it with their, favorite eyeliner and kind of be on their way. This is so beautiful. Then Bauhaus, a silver with a metallic finish. This is Night Owl. Royal Blue with a metallic finish. And then Blue Moon, a pale vanilla peach with a matte finish. By the way, Blue Moon and Piguel from Garnet look to be the same shade. They have the same description on the website, just different names. The last Petit Fool is Bullion, and let's start with Ali, a light gold with a metallic finish. Then we have 1919 medium gold with a metallic finish. Then Brazen, an antique gold with a metallic finish. And I'm going to do another application just to make sure I showcase this properly because it is stunning, very foil-like. And the last shade is a matte black, described as natural black with a matte finish. Look how smooth that matte shade is. Wow. Well, I am just so impressed on how these swatch and appear on my arm. And I want to note that even though every Petit Fool here has a couple of metallic shades, some of them do have, like, there's a little bit of variance between the finishes. We have, this blue here, most of the greens, actually the three here, they all have a more shimmery finish to them, even though they're metallics. And then you've got some really creamy classic metallics along the way. And then, of course, you have something very foil-like as well. Actually, a lot of these three here from Bullion are very foil-like in comparison to the other metallics. Moving on to the demo, I'm taking Illusion and placing that all over the lids. Going into Gatsby, I am adding that to the outer corner. And then just drawing a shape up here. Because I do want it to look a certain way. And I'm going to blend Gatsby further into the crease. And I'm also adding more of it to fill in just right here. Taking Green Light, I'm using the shade to fill out the rest of the area. And then with a finger, I'm going into Gimlet, and I'm placing that onto the center of the lid. Going back into Illusion, I'm adding that right here, blending some seams, and taking that towards the outer corner. And I like to go into Gimlet again because I want this center part to be even brighter. I'm going to repeat all of the steps on the other side, then we'll come back for the rest of the face. Off camera, I did put on eyeliner on the upper lash line and mascara. Now I'm ready for blush. So I'm going to go in with Victoria Beckham's Cheeky Posh cream blush here in the shade Major. For highlight, I'm using Westman Attelier's Parla. This is part of their holiday gift set, which I believe you can still get it from certain retailers. I will look that up and see where else you might be able to get it and link it below. But this I especially like because it has a cool golden champagne tone to it, and I think it's very fitting for the holidays, but it's also just really beautiful. For lips, I'm using Lisa Eldridge's Velvet Lipsticks in the shade Petal. This is the finished look, and I really like how the eye look turned out. Normally with something dramatic, smoky like this, I prefer to use a nude lip, but because I'm wearing this out during the day, I do just want to lighten things up and just kind of experiment with colors here. So I think this is still pleasant, definitely goes with the blouse. Looks a little less serious too when you pair, brighter, lighter shades with a deeper eye look. So I think this is really fun. The shadows were very easy to work with, very easy to blend. You saw in the beginning as I was working on the right eye, it looked a bit messy on the outer corners here as I was drawing that shape, but with some blending and when I layered on the metallics to blend the seams together or blend them so you couldn't see them, it was just easy to work with, and that has always been my experience with the Viseart palettes. These shadows are also very pigmented, as you saw in the swatches, and for these I can say for sure they play very similarly or just as well on the lids. So yeah, it's been a really great experience playing with this palette. Moving on to the comparisons here, I have the NARS Climax palette, and I'm going to take the shade Hooked, which is this metallic green here, and I'm going to swatch it right on the other side. So this is Hooked from NARS, and while it's not similar or same as any of these shades, I feel like it is an in-between of these two. Like, it has a tone of Gatsby, but it is more glittery and has that gold glitter reflex to it that you might find in this forest green or even in Gimlet here. Then I have Chanel Le Beige. This is Intense, and I like to compare these two shades to Viseart. I find that this shade here is quite similar to Gatsby from Viseart. The main differences being that Gatsby is much more metallic in its texture and finish, whereas the Chanel shade is softer in pigmentation and color payoff, and it's a bit more glittery, but they both have that, gold shimmer to it that I find very similar, and that kind of like brown undertone. As for the deeper Chanel shade, it's more of a matte shade, so there's nothing quite like it on Peridot, but it is still very beautiful, and I think really complements, any khaki green color story. It actually goes really well with the whole palette. Westman Atelier also has a khaki green shade from her latest iPods Rendezvous, and this is Bonne Chance. Bonne Chance is more similar to the NARS Hooked shade, but it doesn't have quite the glitter. I think it's more of a soft metallic finish. It's maybe more similar in texture to this Chanel kind of semi-matte shade than anything else. And my last comparison is going to be against Chanel's Stylo. This is their Ombre et Contour Kohl Pencil in the shade Contour Khaki. And you can see that it is the deepest, most concentrated as expected from this type of product. And while it's not similar in shade, and the finish is just this matte, like a creamy matte finish, it does actually really complement any of these type of color stories. So what I've done in the past is I've paired this with the Chanel Le Beige and the Climax eyeshadow palette. So I would probably have this above the lash line, kind of smudge it out, and then add the shadows on top. It's beautiful every single time. So what I'm going to do, because I really, really love this, I'm going to add a little bit on the lower lash line. Then I'm going to diffuse it a bit. I love that you can just use it to enhance your look a little bit, or you can use it as that base khaki shade to build your look upon. And really happy with how this turned out once again. Really look forward to the other Petite Fool palettes. And looking in last year's collection, there is no shade. None of the metallics are really similar to last year's. I think last year's overall, these three here are a bit warmer than this year's collection, this being the, you know, kind of standout cool tone palette. And there's a few cool shades, like even in this one here, but I find that I get a sense that the collection as a whole is a little bit warmer. Maybe it has to do with the fact that it's, you know, inspired by pastries, and to get pastries, typically you have to put them in the oven and put heat underneath. So that's what this reminds me of. This year we get a few interesting variances. We have warm and cool, and oftentimes in a single palette you'll find that there are, you know, some really notably warm shades, and then it's paired with these cooler shades here. So, and I just find that contrast really nice. Makes it more interesting, and I think also just more fun to play with. So I'll be revisiting these, creating a look with these very soon here. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know below what you think of these Petite Fool. Last year's Petite Fool was such a hit. I love to get your thoughts on them. And if you watch to the end and you haven't subscribed, consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get notified every time new content is released. See you guys again very soon. Take care. Bye.